my jacket because it's far too sunny in Scotland. Woo! Market opens in 3 minutes. Split adjusted, though my charts are playing funny games. Thank you very much to 1,000 Years of Darkness for supporting this show and pushing us on towards that goal. I can't hear you, Tracepoint. Nobody will be able to hear me. Hello, hello. Let me know in the chat box if you think it should be a little bit louder. It is a very noisy world. You can hear, great. Well, I just whapped up the gain, so now everybody can hear. Probably it's awful. Thank you very much. Great to see us then. Into the chart. Hit the like button while you're here. So early heads up on the markets might be taken from futures. 1 minute till the traditional markets open. You've got the little bit of a gap. Price moving to the top side. Fair value gap as well. SPY, all viewers will be aware of this drop back down again. Live person coming in for an open in at around $6. $6.10 is the split adjusted price from the 42 cents at close on Friday. That's 15 times same split ratio. And the drawings have adjusted, but the price has not. Top of that move to the bottom of the wick, 3.2%. Also of interest, size of this pullback on Bitcoin. Is that about 20%? It's a healthy bull market correction. Higher high, test of that upward sloping trend line. So there was a market shock, as we spoke about. Here comes those markets, here comes those live persons, opening at $6. What about that for a fresh chart? That single solitary little skinny candle. So many jokes that I'm not going to make. Right, so live person, $6, up 1,400%. One day that'll be true. At the minute, it's not. SPY opening with that gap to the top side, and that increases. Looking left, you can see it's opening back above an important level of resistance. So it's what about happens up at around 646. That's the question now. And here you've got so far a clean rejection, no hesitation. Live person, 6.04, also pushing to the top side. Positive moves. Also worth looking at will be how the order books fill up, how quickly that happens. And first 15 minutes, want to see the price pushing in one direction, supported by volume. We'd also like to see a similar issue with we've seen on SPY, that clean rejection, either at support or resistance. We have to go down to the 15 seconds to get anything significant, and I say significant, it's 4 bars. So you don't want to see hesitation at support or resistance. You want to see either a clean rejection or price action. If it does hesitate, you'll assume that it's going to test that level considerably. We'll weigh in with some look at the volume at the same time, and then paying attention to the open interest in case there's any skew with regards to strikes or expiries. So those are our top tips. This is this exciting candle. There it is at 6.14, so it's actually up on the day. That's real. This green bit underneath, that's anti-gravity mechanisms kicking in, courtesy of Wayland Industries. So that's positive, and you can see that futures on the 1 minute time frame here managed to ride that open quite well. How's crypto responded? Very positively. Wouldn't pay too much attention to that Walker Cup 1 minute flash until such times as you establish resistance. Looking like you can see there might be a touch of it here. If not, your hand up to the top side of those wicks. Back above 50 simple itself, above the 200, so price action not completely bullish on that 3 minute time frame. 7 minutes, there's interesting, you can see that cleaner resistance line coming through. So strong move on Bitcoin suggests risk is back on again. I didn't need to go to it on this chart. Expansion on the Bollinger Bands, that looks interesting. Similar sector to live person sound. That's a nice positive start. Oh, my MacBook needs plugged in. Look at the size of that fair value gap that they've given us. $60 odd on it. Go win to win, thank you very much. Lisa, total legend, thank you very much. Karen, cheers. Only shares, legend. Lisa again. You're welcome, Lisa. Thanks for being here with the channel and all of the lucky people in the community benefiting from your hard work. Live person, 6.26. Sorry for interrupting you. Thank you very much for that help. $30. I'll take 30, says Schmitty and Careless Whisper. $30. What's your targets on live person? Long term, short term? That should have been a hard reset. The computer just doesn't care. Trading View, it's picking on some of us. The larger your position, the more likely it is that it does that, I've noticed. Beep beep. Congratulations on your purchase, kitty. Yeah, Chris, it takes a while sometimes. Others have had their charts updated from early this morning. We're on the council internet. We're on the poverty charts. $22 likes. That's a good start. That's a good start. Live person also having a good start. As you can see by that percentage figure. Some premium Lpsn at the minute. Fresh out of the oven, these Lpsn shares. Brand spanking new Kusip. So if you like your Lpsn pastries, today's the day. Am I still on screen? Seems like my streaming platform has abandoned me. Well, I'm back. Thanks. Jumped around a bit there to get it. What is the chart? I'm not going to update my details. No point in having the RSA showing at the minute. Nor much with just go structure ourselves. And then what do we have to go on? Well, first 15 minutes have passed.
So you can see something?
Huh?
Make it so you can see something? Does it work in this?
I can see myself now here. Let's come back.
Well, there's no candles on the screen.
Yeah, there's no candles. There's a couple of candles. They're just very difficult to see.
What time frame's that?
That's the 1 minute. Where I went up to the top to find what was going down. Or up, as it would happen.
Pre-market session on. Just for no candles.
Turn that off. Makes no much difference. No much difference there. There's the candles. Until such times as TradingView deems me worthy of its updated chart. So coming back now on a 1 minute time frame. This is where the gap opened. Top side of that gap anyway. I think that's probably a better way of saying it. Price action came back and tested that area.
I suppose the key thing is it's trading above its open price. So there's that.
Yeah, on live version, the fact that it's trading above its open price is positive. The markets are going to come back and test that gap at some point during the day, likely, and that result of that test, it was a good signal for sentiment, especially if it happens during the opening range, and if the opening range is supported with a bit of volume in that direction, that it would be positive. Future's still holding up. Wouldn't necessarily look to them to test the gaps. I'd be doing that on SPY. Hovering below the open price on SPY. That's not yet definitive. Looking at tiny time frames here. Testing the top side of the gap gives you information as to regard to market sentiment, and it happening during the opening range is more enlightening than otherwise. Live person trading above its open price. That's positive. Might do other things, like measure the behavior of price compared to VWAP or look at the strength of certain closes and how that speaks to the magnitude of the moves we're seeing today. But none of those indicators are going to add any value when the details on the chart haven't updated, so we're looking at structure only. That's why we'd be referring to things like that gap. Even if you did have the charts updated, it's definitely wise to take a cue from the leading index. And what were those targets then?
It's a good news day today. It's lots of news today in the world.
Yeah, shitloads of news. It's a big news day. Big news day. I heard that. Good news in the Middle East. And about 50 rambling speeches of people praising each other. It's always like that, isn't it? We love to declare victory as soon as possible, completely emphatically, and pat each other on the back, and ourselves, loads. So that happened, it's still happening. There's the question mark about the tariffs. Are they going to be applied to China, that extra 100%? There's various reports in the news. Kitty shared a link from the Kobayashi letter. It was talking about how it was all based on Trump's misunderstanding from just updating the bureaucracy around exporting rare earth metals, as opposed to putting limits on specific countries, which would negatively affect America. So if it is just a bureaucratic box ticking exercise, then that news story will prove to be correct, in which case the tariffs won't be applied. Other people are saying that China's trade envoy refuses to pick up the phone to America, as 3 separate phone calls that we can all see they rejected, and that they are also tightening import checks on their own companies to make sure that they're not importing any of these NVIDIA chips that are tailored specifically to China, because they believe that their own domestic production is on par or an equivalent technological standard to those NVIDIA chips. So they're starting to extreme attention to their own imports. Apparently there was over $1 billion worth of NVIDIA chips smuggled into China in the 3 months from May. So, a bit of a leaky ship there. Interesting to see what the actual details are. As you can tell from what prices have done since Friday and that news, you know that price leads price, right? Not news, because the news itself was fake or 2 days old or far more extreme than people understood. And so the context of the news, that clearly wasn't what drove some specific range in price. And subsequently the confusion shows that that's definitely true, right? There was no trigger that drove it. You know, other people will justify it, and the cognitive dissonance kick in. They'll say, yeah, well, somebody knew something was happening, and yeah, sure, okay. But that's why we study technical analysis, because you can't know everything all the time, but everything that can be known is on a price chart, and the better you are at technical analysis, the better you'll be able to see it. And that's not trying to sell you on magic, that's just explaining what technical analysis does. So does news matter? Maybe, right? Humans seem to seek it a lot. Is it what's driving price? Clearly not, as price moves before the news. It's later on we attribute it to any specific event and then correct ourselves because we got it wrong, but price doesn't care. 6 spot 12. Average daily volume 339,000. That's adjusted. Volume so far 64,000. That's positive. You would anticipate doing the biggest chunk of volume in the opening range and in power hour at the end of the day. So the greater proportion of that 340,000 traded on an average day will have done its business by the end of the first hour of trading, and the latest, greatest, second biggest chunk will happen on the final hour of trading. But immediately after a split, you would expect the books to be drier than, as we said on Discord, a 3-day-old baguette that's locked in the tumble dryer. People selling in pre-market were selling into nothing and were losing loads of money compared to waiting for somebody to take your order now. Seems like a silly mistake. Somebody jumping a shark. What happens? Shark eats you. Shark eats you. Don't jump a shark, it'll just eat you. Thanks for hosting us today. Treats button rugged crop. Have some moderately priced tinnies on me. Jimbo Jim. Very generous. Thank you very much, sir.
Later in the season, some NBA games will be available in immersive video on the Vision Pro.
Immersive video on the Vision Pro NBA games. Wow, you'll be able to experience the sporting jeopardy. Coach side, pitch side, court side, yeah. You'll need that full body experience to get any sort of a reaction, having ridden these waves with Lpsn. The real jeopardy, the real risk. Still, football in 3D. That'd be pretty good. I wonder how much it is to actually play in the game then. I wonder how long it is before we're all playing. We're all in the NBA. Our own little one. If I can go to win. Go win to win. Do you want to show the work you did on this amazing pergola and deck and thing? Save it. Nice sunny weather though. By the way, the spread's got way better. Tell me about it, Ahab. Kitty says, your tall wasted opportunity. Yes, the NBA are missing out.
Hopefully it will come out with a second generation of it and don't discontinue the product line.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot of attention. It's like a big, yeah, it's a big boon to the product. And so if Apple do bring out a second iteration of that, perhaps it'll drive new revenue streams. I could see that being a big deal, you know, what with their App Store model and the premium technology, and then selling into subscriptions that would normally be reserved to like the large networks, large TV networks. There's a lot of opportunity there. The market will like that idea. The market will like that. The NBA is on your Vision Pro.
I'd never watch an NBA game if it wasn't like that.
Yeah, true story. A lot of people, billions of them, in fact, billions of people would never watch a game of football unless it was on their Vision Pro and they could really be right there. Tech nerds do not equate to sport nuts. I suppose that's quite an American view, isn't it? This distinction. It's like born like many of yous in the 80s. It's just games, isn't it? Games. I don't think you're necessarily a tech nerd if you watch basketball in a Vision Pro. You're more in sort of an early adopter and enjoy sports. So you're probably not necessarily a tech nerd. What you probably are is you've got a high disposable income. You like to buy the things that other people think are cool. And you want to show off. If they can add a social media element to it, like this is me on my Vision Pro watching the NBA, so I'm clearly spending stupid amounts of money on the subscription and considerably richer than Yao. If they can add that element in, and this is a really, really amazing idea. Thoughts short term on ABAT? ABAT. That is a very unfashionably phonetic name at the minute. My thoughts are it's going up. Well, it's extremely overbought. It's in a very positive move, up 40% today. Obviously that leaves a big gap. It's got plenty of room to run into. But if I see it drop... Huh?
American battery company.
Uh-huh.
It's got a lot of tariff tailwinds.
Yeah, the tariff tailwinds.
It's nice and all for it.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice for it. It's nice. Those tariffs are great. Great for it. Tariff tailwinds. Yeah, so it's discarding its whale fin bum and heading up for a, as you can see there, and heading up for a test of these higher highs, what with the tariff tailwinds. Though
And if that narrative were to collapse, then that wouldn't be good for the stock.
yes. So it's you'd have to be confident that the tariff narrative will continue, or you'll be facing a lot of risk with that trade. Say that trade, if you were to just enter it willy-nilly. But it's a very strong move. It's up a big chunk this morning, 42%. Part of the reason you'd want to be careful is the overbought aspect to it. Sure, it could push higher, but it's a good push to the top side. It's outside the top Bollinger Band. It's extremely overbought, and it's pushing up on the news of the tariff threat. So all those things have to bear that in mind. You want to be with a terribly tight risk management if you are entering a trade like this. You wouldn't go with the standard, you know, depending on how you split each of your trades up relative to your overall capital, you might adjust those parameters.